All right. I think I'm live. I am live. Let me check the side chat. I'm not expecting really anybody to be here at this time. Make sure my levels are good. All right. We are good. Hello, everybody. My name is Nate the Lawyer. As always, welcome to the channel. Uh, Let me just mute this because I'm hearing myself in my ear because I forgot to mute the YouTube channel. All right. There we go. So that's done. Sam Lowry, what's going on? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. All right. So, what is this stream about? Actually, I wasn't going to do a stream today. Just so everybody knows, just a quick update. I've been doing this super deep dive into the voting ID laws. And this issue goes back to, I think, 2002. So it's going to be a fantastic video. It's just taking so much time because, like, I've been going through the congressional record on this thing. Like, it's really, really, really serious. It's really, really going to that. So it's gonna be a fantastic video. And I believe a lot of people are going to be not only shocked, but they're going to be surprised about how the whole thing of voter ID, when these arguments came about voter IDs being racist and where that develops. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. So today, I want to actually talk about a case that I used to cover when I first started. So to give you guys a little background, there was a case here on YouTube about two YouTubers called the non sequitur case. And let me pull this up. Let me add this to the stream. So this is, I think, Twitter, right? Yeah, this is Twitter. And there's a case I used to cover called the non sequitur showcase. And this case had this case was between two YouTubers. All right. So I got too many tabs open. I'm confusing myself here. Let me go back. So this case was about two YouTubers. One was Steve McRae and the other is Kyle Curtis. Now, just a little background on the two guys. Steve McRae is a bum. He's someone he's a chronically unemployed. Like, his last job was at Kohl's department store, and he's like this pseudo intellectual. He comes online and pretends that he's intellectual, but he's just not. He's just, unfortunately, he's a bum who just got online. There's another guy that we used to talk about. His name is G-Man. It's a similar same thing. Have a similar amount of subscribers. And Kyle, he's a felon. He's an ex-con. But they both had a show together called the Non Sequitur Show, and it's a show here on YouTube. And that show, it was a pretty decent show, to be fair. I'm not going to say now, because we've got some issues, that the show was a bad show. The show was actually a really good show. I didn't make an appearance on the show. The show was actually a pretty good show. And just to be straight up, I watched it, and I supported both Kyle. I think I supported them. Matt Delahunty supported them. Aaron Ross supported them. Everybody was supporting the show because the show was a good show. But Steve, so the problem occurred is that Kyle kicked Steve off the show. And eventually, Steve sued Kyle to get the show back. Now, all throughout that lawsuit, I made it very clear that at the beginning, especially at the beginning of the lawsuit, I said that the only thing is fair is that Steve worked on a show and he actually should get paid. And I kept saying Steve should win. Now, I recently re-uploaded the videos. Now, I know some of you might have got notifications for videos, but I didn't re-upload them. They were there unlisted. So I just made them public again. And then I put them on a playlist so just everybody can see them. And it's like 50 videos about me going over the non-sex show. This piece, that piece, all that type of stuff. So you guys can see the backstory. Now, the reason why I did this is, now, the first question is, why did I take the videos down? Well, see, Steve McRae is, I was going to say it, he's a rape apologist. That's what he is. He was promoting a convicted serial rapist and someone who is on trial for raping their own child. And he was saying things like the victims are liars, that the guy was an honorable man. And Steve also got restraining orders. Like, Steve was getting so bad that he started harassing women online, and one actually got a restraining order against him. And he had to go and fight the restraining order, and they came to a settlement. So after that, that was all good. So Steve became very toxic, and unfortunately Kyle was very toxic too. Kyle had stolen from Steve. So when my channel started going in another direction, I said, you know what, I'll just leave these videos up here if people want to see my take on it. They can still access the videos, but I'm not going to promote these videos. They're just going to be here somewhere, right? And I thought that was going to be the end of it, right? The videos, it's not like I deleted the videos. The videos were still on the channel. So now, I think a year later, so the case is actually still going on. Steve is obvious. Steve has won. He's definitely won the case, and he should have won. I've always said that. I think Steve should have won. He should have gotten something. But just like with everything, whenever you cover one of these YouTube cases, the person in the case starts attacking the person covering the case, right? Then it's interesting. One of the commentators, like Emily D. Baker, she had an issue with I think Without a Crystal Ball. Without a Crystal Ball was saying the same thing. Nature this, nature that, nature this, nature. I mean, she was saying the same thing about Emily. Emily's stalking her. Emily's this. Emily's, all the same things, right? Because whenever you cover a YouTuber, they want to attack the coverage if they don't like what you're saying. Same thing with Nick. Nick had, I think, the Vic case where the guy kept attacking Nick. Nick is stupid. Nick is this. Nick is harassing him. And, and the same thing happens with me with the Non Sequitur Showcase. So this is common practice for everything. So it's interesting because at the end of the day, I am not like sad about the case. I'm actually happy with my coverage. I think my coverage was fair on both sides. And if you want to check it out, the playlist is there. Just check them out. Let me see what the chat is saying. Nate, don't forget your excuses. 23-year-old stranger. 17. Yeah. He had a whole bunch of excuses. Nate, you realized then privated the party video I am currently watching. It was a mistake. You'll consider public. What party video? Oh, the watch party video. No, the watch party video I can't make public because remember, it was one of those things where you could listen to it. It was one of those things where I couldn't record it, but we could listen to it. So we listened to it, but the court said that you can't record it or keep it, record it or keep it. So that's why I that video legally I can't publish. So if I did publish that video, but that video actually has to be private. Actually, I'm going to delete that video because I don't think we could. So that was a mistake. I had actually asked the court to get permission to live stream it, but they said I couldn't. I couldn't publish it. It was something like that. So but that's why that video is not up there. Yeah, I wish I would. That's actually a good video. It actually happened to Uncivil Law too with one of his videos. So this is what actually happened now. So with this particular case, now Steve hated my coverage so much, right? Even though I said I think he should win, Steve hated my coverage so much. He started saying things like, I assaulted, had his girlfriend come on to him, and I harmed her so bad that she'd rather be in a room with a convicted serial rapist, that I wasn't really a lawyer, that, all the normal stuff. It's funny. Let me play this clip from Nick that I put up here. It's funny because Nick last night, he actually did a little expose on this just from on his own channel. And it's funny. This is what he said. Let me go here. Where you at? Okay. So Nate, the lawyer. So I'm going to go to my channel because I think I put the clip up here. You guys should be able to hear this. Where is it at, Nick? Here we go. Oh, so this is what tweets and replies. Where is Nick Recchietta? Nick. So this is what Nick said last night about it. I think I might have to redo this. So you guys can hear this. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Can you guys hear this? Is audio on? I don't think the audio's on here. No, the audio's not on. I got to redo this. Give me 1 second so you guys can hear the audio on this. I feel like an idiot. Window. This window. Oh no, they're not letting me share the audio. All right. I got to do something else. Share audio. All right, you guys should be able to hear that.
Cover someone's lawsuit or someone's thing, but a couple things.
So this is Nick.
This is what always fucking happens. You cover someone's lawsuit or someone's thing, and then suddenly you're stalking them, you're harassing them, you're harming them. They'd rather be in a room with a rapist than you. All I wanted to do was make a dad joke about a rock.
So yeah. So that essentially
all I wanted to do was make a dad joke about a fucking rock. That's it. And now, Steve McRae has said he would like to talk to me, but he's not sure. But a couple things.
So, just to be clear, this is one of those things where someone doesn't like the coverage and they essentially try to destroy you on YouTube, right? So, but again, Steve has been unemployed for like decades. He said he made $4,000 a year. He tried to hide money from the government to keep welfare benefits. That's Steve. So, and but it's interesting. He has an interesting following because, I think his co-host is advocating killing 2-year-olds or something like that. We should be able to abort 2-year-old children. So this cult is insane. This is definitely an online cult, and they are insane. But it's one of those things where it's like the Branch Davidian compounds. Those are true believers. There's nothing that I'm going to say or any logic or anything is going to say, but. But to show you how bad this guy has it out for me, let's look at some of his tweets, the tweets that he puts out. This is gonna be hilarious. Some of the tweets that he puts out to try to make it seem like I'm against him, and it's so funny. I'm not even going to try to explain it. I'm just going to show it to you because I think it's one of those things where it's like. What's it called? It's like you got to see it for yourself. One of those things. What do they say when you got to see it for yourself? Yeah, here it is. All right. So am I incognito? I think I'm incognito mode, right? I'm not inside. Yeah. So I'm incognito because I've blocked most of these people. I'm not going to unblock them. And I think some of them have blocked me, but I wanted to show you guys. So let's first start with Kyle's lawyer. Kyle's lawyer is trying to say that I was claiming that after the evidence that Kyle Curtis, so everyone understands what happened here. Kyle Curtis, the defendant in this case, he forged all the bank documents. So he went to the court and forged all the bank documents. Now, this was an allegation at first, right? People were alleging that he'd done this, but nobody really put any proof. So they filed it in one of the court documents. So what I did is I reported on it. So here's what I said about it. Now, they've made the argument that I supported Kyle in the forgery. But is that true? Let's see exactly what I said because it's here. And that's the one great thing about YouTube. You got video evidence, right? You can't hide from the video evidence. So let me put it up here so you guys can see it. And that's, again, it's just you can't hide from the video evidence. It's there. It is what it is. You got it. It is what it is. So here it is.
If this thing is for, I don't even know if I'm going to do this thing on Friday because what is there to do? Well, I'm going to do it on Friday, but I don't know. Am I officially Team Steve now? Could that actually have happened? If this thing is forged, I'm officially Team Steve because I wasn't even Team Kyle before, right? I like Kyle better than I like Steve, but now this will actually officially make me Team Steve because I would think this is wrong. I was Team Independent, but now I might be Team Steve. Damn. Hashtag keep Team jail. Hey, listen, all this stuff is allegedly. Because we haven't heard from the other side yet. I don't even know if I'm going to.
Now that was that again. These are things that I was saying before it came out that all these things were fraudulent, right? These are things that I was saying. Here's another clip of when they showed me the documents. Again, they were saying they said that I supported Kyle and that I never called out the forged documents. So check this out.
I don't even know if I'm going to do this thing on Friday. Because what
Is
is
that the same one? I think the same one.
Do this thing on.
No, what's the other one I did? Oh, here it is. Sorry. Here it is.
You got this is secret evidence. But let's say, yeah, this is secret evidence. Dana, this is when they say secret. This is this is secret evidence. But let's say for some reason it's not secret, or the judge says it's too late or whatever. I think that would still be wrong. I think it would still be wrong for Kyle to win. If this is right, this would still be wrong, right? You can't do this. This is. It would not be just for Steve to lose Friday based on this evidence. At this point in time, no matter how you feel, no matter what legal maneuver you want to say, I just think it would not be justice. It would not, and I am not a Steve fan. I think Steve is one of those is a horrible person, but it would not be justice if Steve was losing Friday. This what we're seeing right now is correct. It just wouldn't be right.
Now, again, this was before it was found out. It was proven beyond any doubt that Kyle forged documents, right? So this is something that I said before it was proven, right? This is when the first allegations came out. I said, if this is true, this is even if they weren't to let it in, it would be wrong, right? To forge documents and still win the case. So again, this is why, and again, Steve said I got everything wrong on the case. So this is what I'm talking about. They're trying to rewrite history to try to make it seem like I was with the side that lost, even though I've clearly come out and said this is crazy. And when you see even my last thing about, I've made videos. Then when Kyle responded, I made a video about his response, what I thought about his response. And then at the end, when the lawyer quit, I said it's all over, right? Steve is obviously won. So that's just some context about what I was saying back in the day, because obviously with a case, you follow the evidence. Sometimes the evidence leads you one direction. Then when you see more evidence, and you turn to another direction. And that's the way, whenever you follow one of these cases, you're trying to evaluate the evidence as it comes in, because a lot of times you don't get the full story at the end. You could, you got to get, people provide evidence, provide understandings. And when you go through it, you say, okay, here's all the evidence, now I can make an informed decision. And that's kind of the same thing with this case. And at the beginning, but I think one thing that has never changed about the non sequitur case is that I always believe, and even today that Steve has said all these things about me and said all these horrible things about me, that it doesn't matter. What's right is right. And Steve worked on that show for about 1.5 years, and he should have always gotten paid. And I think Kyle taking all the money and disappearing was wrong. And I think the way Kyle kicked him off was wrong. But Steve is not helping his cause. Steve is just, unfortunately, he's a bum who doesn't really understand any of this stuff and tries to pretend that, he has not made any mistakes. And he has. Remember, he trusted this guy with everything. And he believed this guy more than I did. It's funny because I believe both Steve and Kyle when they said Kyle moved in with his boyfriend. Come to find out, they both were lying. Steve was lying and Kyle was lying. But, when you can't believe either one of them because they're both just pathological lies. But anyway, so that's it. But now what I want to talk about is the interactions from yesterday, because I think that they're funny. What happened yesterday? So, what's his name? Nick Rekieta. He put this out on Twitter yesterday, which let me go back to it. So he put this out yesterday. I think it's the day before yesterday. Now he wasn't trolling. Some people saying he was trolling, but I don't know if he's trolling or not. But what he was doing is he asked this question, and this question was, hey, Steve McRae, at Steve McRae, what's up with you and Nate the lawyer? I think this guy rocks. Now, he was making actually a joke about, Steve and his agnostic rocks arguments, right? So I got Steve to self-refute himself in the debate. Oh yeah, also I beat Steve in the debate, so that made me even number one. But I hear you have some friction. What's the story? So that's, Nick was making a joke about the agnostic rocks. So then Steve starts. So then I come back. So I am the first one that comes back and I say, well, here's one reason. Now, this is the video in which Steve, goes and shows full support for a convicted rapist. Like he's full support for a convicted serial rapist and is trying to say the guy's innocent, even though we got the court documents. The guy's even on trial now for raping his own child. So, this guy's a horrible man. And Steve was in full defense of him, tried to bring him to the community, make us all think that he's such a good guy. But that was, wrong. So I called him out for that, right? Because you can't do that. We're not we're not supporting convicted serial rapists here, but that's Steve, but hey, Steve and his cult, they want to support the rapists, so be it, right? But obviously that's not me. So I called it out. I did this video. It was actually a pretty good video. And then I just, so then Steve starts responding to all these, and and his responses go so crazy. Like he starts responding to everything. Like I think it's like something like 40 or 50 something responses. I think I responded 7 or 8 times, and he did like 40 something times. So here's some of the responses. First he calls me, obviously I'm dishonest and all this other stuff. So here's when it starts getting crazy. So I told Nick, I almost forgot. Can you please ask Steve more or less why he had his girlfriend lie and infer that I assaulted her, right? I didn't assault her. And this is what she said, just for people who don't know. This is what happened. So this is what they were claiming.
And Nate Brody actively goes after my friends. Warden doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Nate Brody is an actual verified threat to people and their well-being and happiness and overall mental health. This David Warden guy, I don't know.
I'm Al Espinoza, Chief of Pasadena Police Department. I know that David Earl Warden is a sexual predator.
A man accused of child sex assault now back in Harris County and getting ready to face a judge.
Earl Wooten expected in court in about an hour after he was moved from McAllen, where he was arrested last week.
This David Warden guy, I don't know. If I had to choose to be in a room with one of them, it's not going to be Brody.
Yeah,
this should be saying something.
This is something the victims of assault saying this.
This should be saying something.
This is something the victims of assault saying this.
So obviously the question is, what the hell could I have done to make this sexual assault survivor want to be in a room with a convicted serial rapist and indicted child rapist? So this guy has been shown and proven to have done this to multiple women and children. But she says that she'd rather be in a room with him than me. And this woman I've never met. I've honestly never talked to her. I've tweeted at her a couple of times. I don't even remember being in the same, like, I don't even ever physically having a conversation with this woman, ever. I don't even remember being in the same state, unless she's come to New York sometimes that I just don't know. But it's 8 million people here. But I don't know if I've ever been to the same zip code as this woman. So this is what she said I did in terms of why she, and again, Steve was promoting this, why that they would rather be in a room with a convicted serial rapist and indicted child rapist rather than me.
And you don't have to give a reason, but let me ask you both a straightforward question. Do you think Nate Brody has actively harmed you directly and or somebody you've cared about?
I would say that he has tried to actively hurt me.
Jessica, because she couldn't even stop laughing.
No, it's important. It's an important distinction.
This should be saying something. This is something the victims of assault saying this.
So now, they're going, so again, this is the way it goes. And again, this is the YouTube game, right? This is the way it goes when you cover cases on YouTube. Now I'm worse than Earl David Warden, the guy who's a serial rapist, right? Now I'm worse than this guy. Now so this is the YouTube game. This is the game that you have to unfortunately go through when you're on YouTube. Thank you, Nana, for becoming a member. A new member, Nana. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. And Rockstar, don't forget, Nate, that cult also goes around doing fraudulent fundraisers too. Yes, I didn't even forget about the fraudulent fundraisers. They had so people understand. They had a $10,000 fake rent fundraiser where the guy said he had to pay rent, but come to find out the guy didn't pay any rent. And then they had the fake $5,000 cancer fundraiser. Woman said she had cancer. Come to find out she never had cancer. So these people are the scum of the earth. I'm talking about they are really really bad. Hey, Nate the lawyer, do you know where we can follow that Warden case? Sure. I think I can find one. There's a couple of YouTubers that are covering it. But so Warden now is actually being indicted. I think he's about to be prosecuted for child rape. So this is what this cult does, right? They're trying to tear you down. But again, they really can't affect me because they're what they are, right? Again, Steve is an unemployed loser. He has been unemployed for a decade. He was at one point, I think he was trying to blame the pandemic on his unemployment, but they're like, yo, you've been unemployed since 2002 or something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, oh no, yeah, there was no pandemic, right? The pandemic was last year. It hasn't been in for 8 years. So these are the people you're dealing with, right? most of these people, you know, they're desperate for attention. And, you know, I've defeated Steve's, like, Steve has this one huge argument that he kind of quotes, is his agnostic argument. I defeated it. Everyone knows I defeated it. Matt, Aaron, everybody knows it's done. But, you know, he still wants to fight it on because, again, it's about attacking me and not the argument. So let's go on with this whole Twitter beef, which gets a lot better. You guys haven't seen anything yet. So I put that out, right? And let's see the replies to that, because this thing is so long. So this person says that I'm dragging her in. She didn't know Earl David Warner, which is a lie. She knew everything. Then Steve comes that I'm using a sexual assault victim as a weapon, that not even won't think twice about it. So now again, she's saying that she never claimed that she met Nate in real life, but referring to his behavior. I think, let me just get to the point where, because Nick, here it is. Where is when Nick asked him about it? Because Nick asked him about it straight up and was like, yo, what's going on? Let me see if I can find it. This tweet is so long because, again, since Steve likes to, you know, Steve, he has to, what Steve does is bombard you with a lot of lies. And he hopes that by bombarding you with all the lies, then what it does, it allows you, it confuses you. So you can say, so he can just tell you whatever you can and say, I presented you all this evidence, but he really didn't present you anything, right? He just bombarded you with a whole bunch of lies. I'm trying to see the one where Nick responded to what Steve was saying. Because Nick asked him a question like, hey, you know, what's up with this whole thing about the girlfriend thing? This thread is so long. There's so many people who are in it. All right, so let me see. No. Oh, well, we'll get to that one too. But I want to get to the one to this. I don't think I can find it. Yeah, it shows you. This is, Nick kept saying, it's starting to get boring now, but yeah, there was so much. No. But essentially, Nick asked him why he was saying these things. And Steve's response, it's classic. It's a pretty stupid, the response is as dumb as it gets. But I can't find it because Nick, where is it at? I put it for reference. Let me see if maybe I can find it looking through my own thing to show you how much Steve was responding to this. It was where was it at? Let me go. Where was it at? He was just going crazy. See if I can find my response to it. Let me go back to the chat too. Where is my response? Here it is for reference. All right, I found it. All right, so Nick asked, what about the notion that your girlfriend accused him of sexual assault or something? Right? And then I put that thing back there for reference. Well, first, she's not my girlfriend. Someone I care about a lot, who I take trips with. So he's agnostic about his relationship with her. Yeah, this guy takes the agnosticism to another level. He's agnostic about whether this is his girlfriend or not. Oh, he's agnostic about whether this is his girlfriend or not. This is crazy. Is she my girlfriend? I'm agnostic about it. All right. He falsely accused her of stalking him, which she did. Remember, she went around going, like, I would try to go on a channel to promote my channel. Like this time with Scientist Mel. And she was going around to the creators behind my back, telling them that I'm a bad guy, that they shouldn't have me on, that type of thing. Stalking me, literally stalking me. So I blocked her. And then she comes out saying that I harmed her because I blocked her. Now, this was so bad, right, that I had to explain this to my wife, right? Because it was like, why is this woman saying that you harmed her so bad that she'd rather be in a room with a serial rapist? And I'm like, babe, I don't know. And then I said, I've only talked to her like 3 or 4 times on Twitter, and she's like, no, if you only talk to her 4 times on Twitter, then why the hell is she saying that you harmed her so bad you'd like to be in a room with a serial rapist? You must be banging her. Are you banging this woman? Are you giving her the good enough? And I'm like, no, babe, I'm not doing anything with this woman. I don't know. I've never met her. I've never been in the same room with her. I don't know why she's saying these lies. It's like, no, something's got to be going on, because no sexual assault victim would even think about saying something like that. No sexual assault victim would even think about saying something like that. But this one did. This one did. So yeah. So I had to, explain to, I don't know who this woman is. I had to, I blocked, matter of fact, I blocked her on Twitter, and that hurt her so much that now she's going around saying I'm worse than a serial rapist, and I, maybe if something did happen, maybe she would have tried to kill me or something. I don't know, but whatever. So then Steve goes and says, Nate knows that he can't get to me. Now this is, obviously the rape apologist. I can't get to him, but he's nothing. So he goes on. So Nick still keeps, Nick is like, yo, what did Nick say? Nick actually responds to this. I'm trying to find out what Nick says. All right, Nick says, what is the basis or the idea that Nate did or would try to harm her? Right? Because that's what she said. I tried to harm her. She never said anything about physically harming her. She knows Nate goes after people and tries to character assassinate them. He said some pretty shitty things about Sweet, and I now deleted video. But now, the video's back. It wasn't deleted. It was just off, but it's there. Trying to harm her reputation, not physically. So because I said so, so this is what cancel culture is. Because Nate said some bad things about her, that's worse than a serial rapist. What they can do. My bad words harm her more than a serial rapist could. Yeah, that's what and again, the idiots that follow this guy, love this up. Now, shows you how much of a dummy Steve is. So Sweet was put in a position while we were on vacation, his non-girlfriend, he's agnostic to it, with someone who he would put a woman's head through a wall if she popped off to him and triggered him. And I didn't know this and trusted this person to drive Sweet around, affecting her PTSD, just like Nate did. This woman's never been in a car with me. This woman has never done anything. I've never told her that I'm gonna put her head through a wall if she popped off on me. So what is he talking about? Again, this is just Steve. He throws out everything and it's just another lie. Nate did not care about a PTSD. No, because she was the one following me around. She was the one going creators behind my back, trying to get me canceled. She was the one saying that I harmed her when I never even knew who she was. So, so this goes on for a little bit, and he's trying to. And if she chooses between a convicted rapist, she was a victim of rape, and Nate, she should feel safer with the convicted rapist, which is her feelings about the matter. So now he puts this whole, she can feel whatever way she wants to feel. And this, so no, it leaves more questions. It's weird. Now, this is Nick. Nick says it's weird, since it doesn't seem Nate ever threatened her or anyone, but she would rather be in a room with a convicted racist. Seems a bit inflammatory. Not a bit inflammatory. It is. This is ridiculous. Do you think Nate is unjustified in taking offense to that implied allegation? Of course. Only an idiot would not think I would not take offense to that. Anyone would take offense to that. And that's the problem here. See, Steve wants to try to play the high ground, but Nick sees right through it because it's easy to see right through it. Never argue with an idiot. They'll drag you down on a level, beat you with experience. That's true. That's true. That's true. Amen to that. Thanks for the $5 super chat. So here we go. McGrape apologist. Yeah. Steve has a weird fetish for women around. Yeah. Nate's lamp harmed me. Kiki Dog, Nate the lawyer. I'm late, but I hope you keep the videos unlisted, but still have them in a playlist. Team Skeptic does that, by the way. Yeah, they're all there. I'm just putting them public now, and I'll just unlist them, but keep the playlist up so everybody can see them on the playlist. If you want to watch them, go watch them. There's hours worth of content. So we all know what's going on. This is just how Steve and the crew like to play the game, right? This is just the way they like to play the game. It's just, obviously none of this stuff is true, but it's very good for the fans. It's very good to just lie to the fans and to make them believe these things. So now Nick goes back and forth, right, about this stuff, about, all these stalking claims, and Steve is trying to convince Nick that I'm a bad guy, right? But Nick figures it out, and obviously, as you guys saw earlier, Nick shows that obviously this is just because I covered his lawsuit. This is because he didn't like my coverage of the lawsuit, and Steve just is actually lying. Let's actually look at some of the proof that Steve puts up, because I think this tells you the type of person we're dealing with. This really does tell you the type of person we're dealing with. Let's look at some of the evidence he tries to put up, because I want to, let's evaluate some of it. First, he puts this up, right? And this is, he says, ask Goblin Chess. Now, this is the woman who's advocating for the abortion of 2 and 3 year olds, right? So that's who wants it. And Red's Rhetoric, who we find out he's had 2 major fraudulent fundraisers on his channel that he's promoted and that, you know, he's been involved with. So fake cancer fundraisers, for instance. So these are the people that Steve wants us to believe as credible, right? Which is ridiculous. Then he pulls this thing up from 2002. But let me get to some of these screenshots, because I think these screenshots really tell it all. Nate submits that all they want is conflict for views, as I said, for years. So this, he has no time for him. This has got to be years ago, because my name isn't even, that's not my name anymore. He is dishonest, be a merchant like Unirock. So this is what I put. I hope you all the best. Peace. The war is stupid and getting worse. It seems like Steve was right about us. We need conflict, which is true. I think that, yeah, some people need conflict, but I think a war is stupid, especially about the definition of atheism, which this war actually is about. Here's another thing from Steve. He puts this out. He says, Nate has taken me a threat. Steve, got to type this better. And has for years tried to get people to attack me personally rather than my arguments. No, I beat your arguments and you started attacking me personally. He dishonestly goes back and very, very long time. Views is a typo for views. Nate is dishonest. This is clickbait. So what does this prove? This doesn't prove anything. Nate is dishonest. This is clickbait for V's. Yeah. So this is the proof that Steve is putting out. Let's see some more proof. What other proof does he have? You know, let me just go to his thread. And let's look at all the proof that he says that I'm a bad guy. Let's look at all this proof. So what the proof does he put up? This guy tweets a lot. I don't think I'll be able to find it in this madness. The 4 things about Sweet Heathen. We saw that already. This Sweet Heathen, he tweeted that twice. So is he putting out anything new? This is about Unirock. Okay, here's another one about me. Let's see. I think he got a promotion, but quickly, so this is about me. I think he got a promotion and quickly got fired for incompetence with the ADA, as he told me he was having trouble with them, and they didn't like his online stuff and wanted him to stop. And he did not troll online and he did not trolling online as requested. I don't know what the hell that's about, but let's look at the evidence. Let's take a good look at the evidence. So this is multiple personality, which is my former name. It says, I'm getting a lot of messages about it and giving up. So he's not showing the full context. Why don't you continue to make videos? Why don't you continue to make videos? So that's what I told him. It's fun to disagree, but it seems like a blood feud. Thanks, but I have to move on. Now, if you notice, he's deleted all his responses. So only you see is me talking. So it seems like I'm talking just all this, but he's not. He's deleted all his responses to me because he doesn't want you to know what he's saying. I got a promotion from work, and they told me I had to clean up my channel, which is true. I had got a promotion, going to be making more money, and they said, well, hey, maybe we want to clean up your channel just to make it look more professional. So I did. 130K a year, so I'm going to be taking down videos. I was making $130,000 a year. Well, perfect timing then. Shit, dude, 130, fuck yeah, LOL. People just want drama, man. So this is nothing. So as you can see, he's this up here, this little colloquy is nothing about this. He just puts screenshots up kind of randomly and says that it's you know, here's a screenshot of something. And it says this, and then when you read the screenshot, it doesn't say anything like this. So, you know, is he promoting the fact that I got a job paying $130,000 a year? You know? Okay, well, I appreciate it, but yeah, no. And he used and don't forget this screenshot that he puts up is supposed to be the proof. This screenshot is supposed to be the proof that I was fired for incompetence. Yeah. So does that prove that I was fired for incompetence? Here's another one. Let's check this one out. There is absolutely zero evidence of malfeasance or fraud, anything remotely unethical I have done, and yet Nate tries to support a con man. So I'm supporting a con man and outright defames me by willfully lying about me on the since long debunked narrative that Kyle tried to run. Okay. So let's see what he highlights something here. The defendant is liable for breach of contract. Okay. So what does you see? This is supposed to show that I'm supporting a con man in this highlighted section. Okay. I don't know. Let me go back to the chat. Does any of this make sense? Does any of these screenshots meet? Like he said, this screenshot is supposed to prove that I'm supporting a con man. It doesn't even have my name in it. It has nothing to do with me. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. Oh, Steve, come on, Steve, you're getting desperate here. Here's some more. His lawyer, Kyle's, withdrew after being lied to. Yes, after he forged documents. Yes. So, McKiddle Law, feel free to ask Nate for a single court document that substantiates his claims. I don't know what claims he's talking about. Unlike Nate, I have receipts. Kyle committed fraud. You guys remember the other video I did like 8 months ago where I said, yeah, it's likely Kyle committed fraud. Matter of fact, the one I said Kyle should lose because he committed fraud. So this is one. The conduct rises to potential court. Yes, civil contempt. Yeah, Curtis committed fraud. There's still stuff about Curtis and the lawyer withdrawing. He's highlighted significant evidence. Yeah, that he intentionally submitted false testimony to the court. Yeah, I agree with all this, but it has, this has nothing to do with me. I covered the case. So again, you see, so because I covered the case and he didn't like the way I covered the case, he now is saying that I submitted forged documents and I did all this stuff. Like, what? This guy is real. I'm telling you, this guy's sick. This guy is sick. Steve is really sick. It's like he doesn't even know what he's talking about now. Again, I'm going over all his evidence. This is what he's put up. And again, this is what I call spam and lie. Just pull all the stuff up there. Hope nobody ever takes a look at it and to see what's going on. Right? That's what he's hoping. He's hoping nobody ever does what I'm doing now. He's hoping nobody ever just looks at it and says, hey, none of this stuff says what you're saying it says. Here's another one. This is about Kyle lying. And Nate tried to claim that we were defaming Kyle and making false statements. Okay. So here is my tweet. Let's see what I say. All right. So this is October 21st, 2020. Just to understand, defamation is a false statement, faking bank records about or concerning the plaintiff, Kyle, published to a third-party Twitter, the harming their reputation, saying they're a forger, and causes damages, costing the person's job. Millionaires be won. So I said this, just so everybody understands, before it was proven that Kyle committed any fraud. I said, just to be clear, that if you're going to say somebody committed fraud, you should have the proof that they did it before saying that, or you'd be committing defamation. And you should be careful to make sure you have the clear evidence. Then after I put out this tweet, it was shown that beyond a doubt that Kyle committed fraud. And then I said, yes, Kyle committed fraud. So again, Steve, but Steve just says, hey, we said he committed fraud early. And I think, one of the most major things that Steve forgets to tell everybody, it's a secret. But 6 months before they found out that Kyle committed fraud against, the court, I had an informant, someone who I trusted, someone who is very close with Kyle. That person came to me on the condition of anonymity and said, hey, I want to let you know Kyle Curtis is lying and that he actually never moved out with his boyfriend. Right? That he never moved in with his boyfriend. He's always lived at the house. Kyle is lying. I then asked Kyle about it. And Kyle said something interesting. Kyle said, well, listen, I have bank statements. I got documents. I got all this stuff, right? I have all this stuff. I'm not lying, right? Here it is. But the person, because I trust the person, but I also trust evidence. All the evidence said that Kyle had lived there. I didn't know he forged all this stuff. And I said, well, who the hell would forge all this stuff and take it to the court? You know, you're playing fire here. You could go to jail for years for doing something like that. So the first thing I did was say, okay, well, to be fair, and because this seems messy, let me go and let Steve and his crew know that I have a credible source who said this so they can investigate it on themselves. And I told them that 6 months before that. So I told them, and I contacted Ruhef and said, hey, listen, I have a credible source that says Kyle never lived with his boyfriend, that he never moved, even though Steve was saying that he moved in, even though Kyle was saying he's moved in. I told them I had a credible source and maybe they should look into it. I don't know if it's true or not because he got bank statements and all that stuff. But there was a credible source that said this, and I would feel remiss if not to relay it to you. But I wasn't going to say it publicly. And the reason why I couldn't say it publicly, because I had this evidence that he had done that was good, bank statements and everything. So I didn't want to defame the guy by saying that, you know, that he had forged documents because I didn't know if that was true or not. I had no idea. But I thought it was enough to say, well, hey, listen, there are people saying this thing in the background. Maybe you should check it out. And for 6 months, they said they checked it out and didn't find anything. So I thought, just like they kept saying, that Kyle moved in with his boyfriend until we found out he did. But you won't hear that from Steve. Why? Because, you know, obviously I have to be the bad guy. The screenshots totally prove what Steve is saying, so long as you ignore the context, the basic comprehension and logic. Read and believe, Nate. Read and believe. How dare you actually look at it? Yeah. That's essentially what's going on, right? I'm looking at it. Now, mind you, it's, you know, this is just it gets crazier from here. So let's get back to this madness. So again, we're looking at all the claims that Steve made because I want to make sure we just get through this so we can see all these claims. So yeah, Kyle forged documents, but this was found out after I posted this. And again, just so everybody knows, when it was clearly stated in the court, and when the lawyer quit and said, yeah, these documents, you know, she didn't say it, but obviously it came that it was clearly probably forged. Then we all came to the same conclusion because it was proven. Steve, don't look at it. Steve, don't look at it. Steve keeps saying, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't look at all the stuff that I'm saying. Okay. So let me go back to Steve's thread so we can see the more of the Steve madness. Is there anything else he says here about me? I know he puts like so much stuff up about me. It's crazy. I'm like on this guy's mind all the time. This is probably going to be the last time I even talk about this guy, but I wanted to make sure. Here it is. Nate admits to conflict for years. We saw this one. Yeah, but again, he just it's so funny because I think what he does is just put the screenshot up, says what he wants to make it seem, and then just lie. So this is another one about Kyle forging bank records, which again, I covered. I said it looks like it's a forgery. Oh, this is a good one. So Nate deleted all the videos on his channel of evidence of his support for Kyle, but forgot. Well, no, they're up again. So, right. All those videos are up on the playlist. Go watch them, Steve. They're there. That he lied, dishonest on his MP channel, unlisted it. Oh, so he got one right. But you can get the URL from the Kyle's court case. Yeah. Oh, so he has a URL here? Okay, so transcript the plaintiff admissions to incorrect service. Well, very well. I said, okay, great. Then I will show people about, all right. So this link, let's see this is what happened. In the court case, Kyle told the court that Steve was going around saying that he moved in with the boyfriend because the issue was, did Kyle move? If the court found that Kyle had moved, then Kyle wouldn't have been served properly and Kyle would have won. So Steve was saying that he knew Kyle moved and sent it to an old address. So Kyle linked my video to the court documents and say, hey, here is Steve saying this BS, right? So here it is. Let's look at that video. Let me pull it up so you guys can see it. Oops. Here is Steve McRae admitting. Oh, no, is it Steve? Oh, the Steve McRae on process service. There it is. Oh, no, got to change this. Sorry. Oops. No, you guys can't see that because I changed the thing. All right, let me do this. Let me go to. I got to show you guys. Sorry, I got to show you guys the receipts. I don't want to get the receipts mixed up. Let me go. Let me go to the actual clip. I hate this. Let me go back to make sure you guys the actual clip of what Steve said. Nope, not going. Got to move back one more. All right. Let me go back to this. Where is the clip? Where is the clip? Where is the clip? Okay. So Steve puts the clip up, but as you can see, Steve doesn't put the clip up. He just puts a screenshot of the clip. So what I did is I responded by putting the entire clip up. So Nick can see the entire clip. So here's the entire clip of what Steve said. And you tell me if Steve admits.
It did. People got a hold of it very well. And I said, okay, great. Then I'll show people how to find it. But I did note, and Jimmy saw this, that the information on there was old. That was Kyle's old address. People had known that he had moved. He moved in with his boyfriend, which I don't have the address for. That was I wouldn't even think it was several days. Just a couple days after he was served, right? I mean, so he had plans to move. Whether he was avoiding service or not, I don't know. But the address on there was old, wasn't relevant any longer. Even if it was, it still wasn't doxing because it was public information. So, but there was two things that would definitely.
So he said Kyle moved.
One, it was already public, and two, more especially, I think to be the case that it was not even correct information any longer. But I think Jimmy wanted to point that out, that it was he wanted to make an issue of his doxing or not to hide the fact that of all the things that are in the document, right? So, my lawyer is like, this is pure gamesmanship.
Sir,
he was served
did
properly.
Kyle move?
We know where he was served, which again we knew was a previous address. He already said he had moved.
It was a previous address. He said he moved
like that, but it was a proper address. It was signed by an adult. It was a legal serve. Simple as that. And he knew about it. And the fact that he knew about it, that's all that matters. He had mens rea.
The fact that he knew about it, that's all that mattered. He had mens rea. So it's, it's obvious. Steve, again, but he doesn't want people to know that he said that he was going around saying that it's okay to serve an old address, that he knew for a fact Kyle had moved, right? And that it was okay. He doesn't want people to see the truth. He just wanted people to see, here's a screenshot. Nate said I was lying. Yeah, because you were. Play the clip. Again, Steve is arguing with himself, right? He's arguing with the facts. And that's the great thing about having video evidence. It's just like, you're not arguing with me. You're arguing with the fucking facts. It's right there. It says it right there. You said he never moved. Do I believe you or were you lying? So that's kind of where we're at right now with that. It gets crazier and crazier and crazier. But at the end of the day, it just was. Now, at the end of the day, Nick saw it for what it was. Everybody sees it for what it was. This is just, unfortunately, Steve, he's a loser. And my channel, I cover the law, and even when you have people like Steve who are the scum of the earth, and you have Kyle who's stolen from Steve, the scum of the earth, you cover these cases. And when you're doing LawTube like we do, people will not like your coverage, especially when you just give it to them the hardcore truth. So this is just what it is. This is just the way the game is played. So if you hear any of this stuff, obviously you look and you see, and if there's anything you want to ask me about, please share it with me. I'm an open book. But the issue here is that Steve argues with himself. Steve argues with the truth. I don't have to lie. I don't have to argue with the truth. That's, unfortunately, it's what Steve has to do. Fortunately for me, but unfortunately for him. So yesterday, Steve was bombarding all these people with just, craziness. And we had a back and forth. But this is the last thing I wanted to show you. Where was it at? So I'm trying to find it. If I can't find it, it's okay. I'll just move on. But there was one other thing. Now, obviously, Steve has his menu. Steve has a lot of stock accounts too. You know, he has a huge amount of stock accounts. So you got to be careful because you know when he has all these stock accounts, he just goes around and he likes his own stuff. Like you know, it's interesting stuff. Here it is. Oh, 4 hours. Nate's alive. Of course, he's a moron. Blah blah blah. But you know, I say the same about him. It is what it is. Let me go to tweets and replies. I'm surprised he hasn't pinned a post on me yet. Let me see this. So Nate is a liar, of course. Is there anything good? Has he said anything relevant about this discussion? Let me see anything else he's any more proof or evidence that he's put up that I should look at just to see. Because again, they'll say, well, you didn't look at everything. You didn't look. This him and Unirock. Let Unirock answer that. Let's see. That one we saw. Anything else? Any other screenshot that I have to worry about? No, that's all. Nothing. Just him screaming into the void. Oh, this is the one. Well, we saw this one already. We saw that one. We saw that one. We saw this one. It's tweet somebody from 2002. There was one more here I remember, but I don't know. It might just be so far down. This is all in one day too. So, you know, Steve is just look at him, manic. We saw this one about the evidence. Oh, this is another one. So he says this means that I told him that people just wanted him to fight to the death and drama, credibility. He has been caught lying. So this is supposed to be me caught lying. So what am I lying about? Okay, people are angry because of our deal. Our deal was that we wouldn't argue about the definition of atheism anymore. This is crazy. We are moving on after my guest spots, right? I'm moving on. I had a couple of guest spots to talk about it, and that was it. Why would people be angry? What the F? And I said they want us to fight to the death, right? They wanted us to argue out the point all the way to its completion. But at this point in time, it was like, you know, we agreed to disagree. On my side of the fence, people are ecstatic that we came to a meeting of the minds, I'm sure. Well, those were actually some of his people who were upset that we had stopped too. See, they just want drama. I don't. So this was proof that I'm lying. This was proof that I'm lying. Yeah. Wow. That's and you got 4 likes. Oh, here's another one. Kyle admitted in a deposition Nate Brody was involving himself in the court as I suspected all along. He was not just a spectator as he claimed from Kyle's deposition. So let's read this. Runs another YouTube channel that there had been filing with the court that he sent to me. A link sent to me to view that. I saw it online. Question. When was that? I can't tell, to be honest with you. Question. Was it August 2019? I think it was. I think it was after that. To be honest with you, I couldn't tell the exact day. Question. Would you give me a ballpark month? August, September. Who sent the link to you? Nate Brody. So I sent them a link to my video. So sending Kyle a link to my video involves me in a lawsuit. Who is Mr. Brody? He runs another YouTube channel, I guess, sort of reports on this. So a YouTube channel is reporting on the lawsuit, sends him a link from a video that I just completed. The things that now he says, I guess he reports on this, the things that are going on with this case. And Steve says that I was helping, he's kind of alluding that I'm helping Kyle, even though Kyle had his own attorney. Yeah. I don't know. Is any of this make sense to anybody in the chat? What am I missing here? What am I missing? Am I missing something? Matherin, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much is Nick going to regret rattling Steve's cage? Because Steve seems like he'll either be a fountain of, I do not know how to pronounce that, or the crazy ex who will never stop contacting you. Dad joke equals 30 plus tweaks. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know. But this is crazy. So again, we have another. Now, again, we are looking at Steve's evidence, right? We're just looking at it and reading it. And again, this evidence proved nothing. It doesn't say anything. I understand he's trying to make it seem like Nate did these bad things. Here's another one. Nate did these bad things. Look, he's just retweeting the same stuff again and again. I honestly starting to feel sorry for the guy. Look at him. He's putting a video from 3 years ago that I trolled him on Facebook. I'm wrong in philosophy. I think that's it. I think this is it. So we've looked at all Steve's claims. We see that it seems like none of his screenshots actually support his position, right? None of them. He just is, I don't know. So now let me interact with the chat. Let me see. This is not BP. Uh-oh. I've gotten too far to the Steve craziness, not BPPP, that crap. So, all right. So let me talk to the chat. So what do you guys think? You're not giving legal advice, maybe some sort of support, but that is still no legal significance. Yeah, I don't know. I sent the guy a link to a video I did. I didn't know, he put it in the case saying, hey, look at this link to the video. That's me helping him. I also did a video against the guy. So I don't know. So as you can see, Steve just, unfortunately, he has no professional experience. This is, I'm sad to say this. He wants to be something he's not. He wants to be learned. He wants to be professional, but he doesn't want to put the work into doing it. And that's the problem. Again, he was, he told me that one time that I would never be a successful YouTuber, right? I had like 500 subs. He said I was jealous about him getting subs. Now I'm at like almost 70,000, with 68,000 subs. And he's at like what, 12 or something like that. I saying that I'm jealous of him, and it's just crazy. But so you guys understand, this was a YouTube case that I covered. And this is the same thing that happened. I don't know if you guys remember Emily D. Baker and the beef she had with Katie Jo Paulson. It was the same exact thing. Katie Jo Paulson didn't like the way Emily was covering her case, and then put Emily's name directly in the case, right? She was saying Emily was conspiring against her in the case. That's what Steve is doing, right? Steve and Emily's doing the same thing. Nick, same thing happened with Nick. Nick was conspiring. It's the cost of doing business on a legal YouTube channel. So now, you guys have all seen, it's interesting to see how these things develop. Nate, will you be relisting your response video to Sweet Heathen's claims? It should be made public. That sweet thumbnail alone. Oh, yeah, I gotta find that one. I think I don't, because it wasn't in the non-sec thing. And honestly, the reason why I actually took that video down, so there's two videos I took. Well, there's one video I took down. The video I did explaining the Sweet Heathen situation, I took that down for two reasons. Number one, I felt bad for her. I felt bad that Steve forced her to use her sexual assault issue as a weapon against a YouTube commentator. I felt bad for her, right? But then when she kept doubling down, like even right now, she can just easily give me an apology. Hey, listen, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, and that would be the end of it. But she won't. And Steve keeps bringing it up, and Steve keeps making it seem like, at a point, they were making it seem like I assaulted this woman, a woman who I've never met. And they do that because they wanted to, again, discredit me. And think about this. It got to the point where he had to bring in his girlfriend and make it seem like someone who I've never met. So if you guys do want to see my Sweet Heathen take, there's one on the MP channel where she goes, she listed like, she wrote like 50 something tweets or something like that. And then in those tweets, she's all over the place. She says that, first, at one point she says she's sorry. Then she says she's rather be in a room with David Earl Warden, the serial convicted rapist, rather than her mother. She's just all over the place. So, they're desperate. They're desperate. And this was desperation. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to go on Nick's channel. We're going to talk about this madness and what's happened. And, I just want everyone to know these people are in a cult. These people are in a cult. These people steal from their fans, right? Look at my channel. You'll see these people actively steal from the fans. they lie to the fans. They tell this person has cancer and the person doesn't, and they know it. They lie to these people. They'll also say things like, this person needs to pay their rent, and that's a lie, and they know it's a lie, right? This person that they do it. This person, like Chesh even said, one of my friends was on a sex offender registry. We looked it up and he wasn't. It was a lie. So that's what these people do, and that's all they really have. And they're not worth my attention. And you'll see their minions go around and try to pretend, oh, this. But the only thing that they had was the fact that I enlisted the videos. So you know what I did? I made them all public and sent them out so everyone can see them, if they chose to or not. And you can go run through them. I'm going to probably unlist them all, but leave them on the playlist, and then you guys can check them out at your leisure. But I stand behind everything I said. I followed the case, the where it led, and at the end of the day, from what I said day one to what I said at the end, I believe Steve should have always gotten paid. And I think that your business partner can't take, I think they made something like $40,000. Your business partner can't take half the money and run. That's ridiculous. Kyle should have paid him. Kyle said he was going to pay him. He didn't pay him. Me and Uni have a disagreement. Me and Unirock have a disagreement about this, because I say that Steve should have gotten paid, that Steve was a 50-50 partner, and that's the right thing to do. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. And at the end of the day, I think the right person did win. No matter what Steve says about me and how he's trying to get his girlfriend to say I harmed her and all that stuff, the right thing happened in the case, right? Especially the fact that he, defrauded, forged documents and all that stuff. He should, there should be some penalty for that. And at the end of the day, Steve should get the channel back. He should. Those are, I can say that because it's not about the end of, who wins, right? Who wins doesn't matter. It's about what's right and justice. And justice is the fact that Steve won. And I know there's a lot of people out there who may be hurt by that, because they can't separate the case from the person. But I can do that. I separate the case, and this case was important because I think this case did a couple of things. It lets us see the full progress of a lawsuit from before it got started to the end. But at the end of the day, the right thing happened. The right thing happened. We desperately want Biggie and Augie Algie back on the channel. Well, yeah, but now I'm moving away from the non-sec. So this is really my into the non-sec. At the end of the day, about the non-sec case, there are a couple of things I do want to say about it before I get out of here. First, I enjoyed covering it. I thought it was a fascinating case. Steve hiding, money to continue to get welfare and all that. I thought that was, fascinating ins and outs. A lot of people say they dislike Ruhef, but I think Ruhef did the right thing. If you have a friend that's in trouble and needs help, I think, I don't blame Ruhef. I think Ruhef could have spent the money better by just giving it to Steve, right? You spent something like $50,000 on the case probably. But I think he could have just given the money to Steve and been better off. But at the end of the day, he helped his friend, and I don't blame Ruhef for that. If you got it, you should spend his money the way he wants. But I think he should have given the $50,000 to the unemployed bum, right, instead of paying the lawyer. But at the end of the day, he sued him, so he did the right thing. Also, I really liked going through the paperwork and going, seeing the back and forth. It was a great experience because it helped me see the process from another state. So at the end of the day, we saw a default judgment. We saw somebody fight a default judgment. We actually saw, we saw his lawyer fight it. We saw the hearing. We saw it all, and it was a great microcosm of how a case goes and how to sift through all the bullshit. Because let's not forget, Kyle forged documents and turned those forged documents in, and we all believed they were correct. Steve, their side, all of them, until Ben came out. And when Ben came out, that's when things turned, because Ben said, well, hold on, he never lived with me. And that's helped us do all this. Crafty. Hey, what's up? So just so everybody understands, yes, Steve is going around using his girlfriend to say that I somehow harmed or assaulted her more than a serial rapist. That's wrong. That's lie. And she's actually been backtracked on that. Steve is just making up all these lies to try to discredit me. Steve is and again, I understand why they have to do that, right? They have to do that. I understand why, right? Because the truth is something different, and it just is what it is. So at the end of the day, let me look at some of these. Nate, definitely though, I disagree slightly on things, but at least he can be talked to and not boom out like a child. Yeah, no, well, hey, it's fine to disagree, but I think Steve should have gotten paid. I really do think Steve should have gotten paid, and I think Steve should have won the case. But obviously, he made a lot of mistakes, and he's probably not going to get anything from that case. And at the end of the day, he's sitting there, he's sitting there with nothing, and I'm sitting there moving forward. So at the end of the day, Steve is in the rearview mirror, and I'm looking forward on to the next case. So we'll see. Nate, I appreciate your innocence coverage. You managed to hold back your own bias more than you've been given credit for. It's worth the sub alone. Oh, thanks. No, it was difficult, especially when somebody's calling saying that you attacked their girlfriend that you've never met. So it is. So Nate Howe, he wanted cash. Oh yeah. He said he wanted cash, so to hide. We all know the game. So at the end of the day, now you know who these people are, you know what these people have done, and you know what to look out for. And moving forward, so we all know Steve has won his case, but he's probably not going to get any money from this. And even if he gets the channel back, he's lost the person, the talent from the channel, because Kyle was the talent. Kyle did the thumbnails, he did all. Kyle was all the talent. He's lost that. Steve was just somebody who Kyle had on the show, but everything about the show was Kyle's. Kyle was the brains. He was the operation. He put everything together, and that's it. Ha, big fella. Till next month. No, I'm telling you, this was the last time I'm doing this type of stream. I'm still going to, because I'm going on Nick's channel to talk about it. But I think everybody, hey, Fiona Robinson, the rabbit hole. So I just want everybody to know. But I got to get out of here. I got children to pick up, things to do. So now you know what's been going on, and I'll be seeing you next time. So for all you who haven't known, like, share, subscribe, do all that great YouTube stuff. I'm out of here. I got some videos coming out. I got a collab with Team Skeptic coming out. I got a collab with someone else coming out. Collab tomorrow night. Collab for Team Skeptic. So we'll see what's going on. My name is Nate Deloy, and I'm going to see you later. Peace. In broadcast.